Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will discuss about the UGC NET law exam strategy for the upcoming exam in January 2026. Now, those students who are appearing for the first time in this particular exam, UGC NET exams gives you eligibility to be appointed as assistant professor in universities. Now, there are three categories. The eligibility will be determined in the following manner. The first category is award of JRF and appointment as assistant professor. So basically we have three categories: JRF, Junior Research Fellowship, assistant professor and PhD admission only. So there will be three different categories of cutoff. The highest will be for JRF, then we will have a cutoff for assistant professor, and then there will be a cutoff for PhD admissions only. So even if you do not qualify for JRF, there is a chance you may qualify for assistant professor. And if you do not qualify for assistant professor, you can still qualify for admission in PhD only. Now let us understand the examination scheme of this particular UGC NET exam. Now the pattern of examination is that the test paper consists of two sections, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 will have 50 questions and paper 2 will have 100 questions. So paper 1 is a general aptitude exam and paper 2 is subject specific exam. So we have a total of 150 questions. Each question is of 2 marks each. So you have a total of 300 marks. So there is no negative marking for incorrect response. So you can attempt all questions. Now paper 1 consists of general aptitude, wherein you will have topics like research aptitude, teaching aptitude, ICT, higher education, etc. Now coming to paper 2 is subject specific, and in this video we will talk about our strategy regarding law subject. Now let us have a look at the syllabus of this particular subject. Now law syllabus is divided into 10 units. Unit 1 jurisprudence, unit 2 constitutional and administrative law, unit 3 public international law and international humanitarian law, unit 4 law of crimes, unit 5 law of torts and consumer protection, unit 6 commercial law, unit 7 family law, unit 8 environment and human rights law, unit 9 intellectual property rights and information technology law, and unit 10 comparative public law and systems of government. Now we have almost 30 days left for the exam, less than a month. So we need to understand the important topics which can be relevant for us to score good marks for this particular exam. Now starting with the first unit, jurisprudence. Now if we look at the syllabus, we have nature and sources of law and schools of jurisprudence. These two topics are the most important, from which a lot of questions have been asked in the previous year. Apart from these two topics, legal personality and concepts of property ownership and possession are also important. So basically, if you cover these four topics, you can score good marks from this particular section. Now, if we look at the second unit, constitutional and administrative law, four topics are very important. The first is preamble, fundamental rights and duties, directive principles of state policy. Apart from that, union and state legislature and distribution of legislative powers. Then we have emergency provisions and judicial review of administrative actions. So if you cover these four topics under this unit, you can score good marks in this particular section. Moving on to the third unit, public international law and IHL. A lot of questions are being asked from this particular unit since the last few years. So important topics under this unit will be international law, definition, nature and basis. Definitions are asked under this unit. And then the most important topics would be settlement of international disputes and international humanitarian law conventions and protocols. Under settlement of international disputes, a lot of case laws are asked. chronological order of these case laws are asked. And under international humanitarian law, you will be asked questions relating to conventions and protocols like Geneva Convention and any other UN related conventions and protocols. Unit 4 Law of Crimes. In Unit 4, most important topics are the first one, general principles of criminal liability, actus reus and mens rea, individual and group liability, and constructive liability. Maximum questions are asked from this topic. Then we have general exceptions, and apart from this, we have offenses against property and offenses against women and children. These four topics are very important under this unit, and maximum questions have been asked from these topics only. Unit 5 Law of Torts and Consumer Protection. In this particular unit, maximum questions are asked from general principles of tortious liabilities. Then we have specific torts, negligence, nuisance, trespass, and defamation, strict and absolute liability, and Consumer Protection Act. Under these topics, you may be asked certain definitions or case laws relating to all these torts. Unit 6 Commercial Law. Now, important topics under Unit 6 are essential elements of contract and e contract. E contract is very important since it has been asked a lot of times in the past few years. Then, second topic breach of contract, frustration of contract, void and voidable agreements. Void and voidable agreements is also an important topic. Then we have questions relating to Sale of Goods Act, Partnership Act, Company Law, as well as CSR. Which section relates to CSR? This is a question that has been repeated quite a few times. Then, when it comes to company law, questions related to directors, meetings, all these questions are very important. Now we move on to Unit 7 Family Law. In family law, sources and schools are very important. Marriage and dissolution of marriage is an important topic. Then maintenance, dowers, Sridan, and will, gift, and work. A lot of questions are asked from will, gift, and work. So this is a very important topic under family law. Unit 8 Environment and Human Rights Law. Important topics under this particular unit are meaning and concept of environment and environment pollution. Then we have international environmental law and UN conferences. UN conferences and their chronological order is very important. Apart from these two topics, we have NGT, National Green Tribunal, International Bill of Rights, and questions relating to protection and enforcement of human rights in India, composition of NHRC, composition of National Commission of Minorities, and constitutional provisions related to these topics are very important under this unit. Moving on to Unit 9 Intellectual Property Rights and Information Technology Law. Important topics under this particular unit are concept and meaning of intellectual property, theories of intellectual property. This is an important topic. Apart from that, international conventions is also important. Then you may have case laws related questions under copyright and patents. Apart from these topics, cyber crimes, penalties and adjudication, and IT law. Under IT law, digital signature, electronic signature, sections relating to these particular topics are very important under this IT law. Now, moving on to the last unit, that is Unit 10 Comparative Public Law and Systems of Governance. Forms of government is important topic, presidential and parliamentary, unitary and federal. So you should know the difference between these forms of government. Then models of federalism, USA, Canada, in India. You should be well versed about the system of governments in these particular countries. Separation of powers, this is an important topic. India, UK, USA, and France. Independence of judiciary and ombudsman. One or two questions from ombudsman are asked every year under this particular unit. Now, these are all the important topics which we have discussed under each unit. See, each and every subheading that has been provided under these units are equally important when it comes to scoring good marks in this particular exam. However, in this particular video, we are only discussing a 30-day strategy, especially for those students who have just started their preparation or who are new to this particular exam. So if you just go through these highlighted topics, the ones that we have discussed in this particular video, I am sure you will be able to score good marks, a respectable score, especially if this is your first attempt and you do not have much time left for the examination. I hope you liked this particular video, and if you want, I can come up with a video that involves previous year question papers wherein we can discuss the different types of questions that have been asked from each unit. Thank you so much for watching the video. Do like, share, and subscribe to this channel as we will be coming up with more UGC net law related videos.